we're spending there over $1 million per month in Google Ads to be like willing not to lose money, not to like waste it. It's not wasting, it's investing in collecting data and the account to start running, find the right people for you, regardless of like, technically you have to be good, but also you have to be a good fit like for you and your business, like to actually enjoy working with that person.
Hey guys, Dean Gravina here, and I'm here with my good buddy, Camilo from Holler Studio. How you doing, man?
All good, how are you, man?
Yeah, good. Man, we've known each other for a while now. I'd say a year.
Yeah, something like that,
Yeah.
It's been, we've been like chatting a lot lately.
Yeah.
And yeah, we finally like got time to actually, we catch up before, but finally we got time to record it.
Yes, that's right. And what we basically want to talk about today is, the path of, you might be in a position where you might have a side hustle or a small business, and at what point should you, go from that small business running your own ads to scaling those ads, and then therefore, potentially hiring an agency to actually, to help you. Run the ads. That's really what the topic is today, because both Camilo and I are pretty much going through that journey now, where we're both left full-time jobs, we're running small businesses. At what point do you even start running ads? That's really an interesting topic for today. But we also have a lot of clients that some of them, they've been running ads for a while. Some of them are just starting to run ads. They're looking for a bit of help, right?
Yeah.
So just before we get started, Camilo, run us through your backstory. Like, how did you, maybe you want to get started, how did you even get here in Australia?
Yeah.
How did you get your first gig? How did this whole process start?
Yeah, well, I'm originally from Chile. I came to Australia in 2016, but I started working in marketing, digital marketing on 2021, just right after COVID.
Yeah.
During 2020, I was doing like every course I could do for free. Like I did like the basic SEO, I did landing pages, and then I did Google Ads, and I was doing Python as well on the side, like trying to figure out where I wanted to go next. So I landed my first role in paid search in an agency, working for a big client. We're spending there over $1 million per month in Google Ads. And yeah, then everything started from there. I kind of love it. My professional background, in Chile, I work in a commercial area in like Fox Sports. So kind of like I had the, analytical mindset, like number mindset.
What convinced you to get into marketing? Like, it's a bit of a random thing. Like, was it like a bit of a story, or?
Basically, like the market, because it was during COVID. I didn't have a job.
Yeah.
I moved from Sydney to Melbourne. No connections, and then I was looking into the career with the biggest growth, and that's why I was doing Python. But then doing digital marketing kind of aligned more with what I was doing before at home, and also the job offer were like kind of like there were other roles coming out, like junior roles, like to start from scratch.
Yeah, I feel like it's a really good way to get started, because like marketing is one of those things where like a lot of agencies and even in-house are often hiring juniors, and they're giving sort of good pathways that way. You can get some good exposure.
Basically, I'm really grateful for that opportunity, because I didn't have the experience, but they were they were keen to teach me from scratch. So yeah, I think that was I was lucky to find that.
Yeah, and like, because you've worked on some, I know that you've worked on some really big campaigns and like some small campaigns.
Yeah.
What is the what's the common thing that you see between these big and small campaigns, and that resistance in when businesses want to scale?
Yeah, that's a good question, because like sometimes we think that money is the problem, but sometimes like small businesses against like big companies, they have the same problems. And what I've seen working in-house in big companies, or working now for my own clients, I've seen the creative, something like people don't spend much time on it. Some people try to do all the advanced settings and all the fancy stuff that looks nice in a document, but we often forget that the person, the user, the first thing they see is the ad copy or the creatives. That's how you approach them, regardless of which strategy you use. So I think I've seen this issue like share in both sides. Of course, some markets are different than other ones. When you work for insurance or for like health, you're more regulated, so you need to be careful. But another ones, they are kind of like, they have the chance to be more like risky, and then I've seen some accounts they haven't taken the risks yet.
Gotcha. Yeah. Also, just on what you were talking about, I think the biggest thing for me is that before you start running these ads, before you start to scale the business, there's often other things that aren't right within the business. It could be the sales team. There's leakage there, right? There could be the follow-up sequences. There could just be the actual business itself. The margins aren't right for you to scale.
Yeah.
Right. So that was a really interesting point that you said. People often focus on the fancy stuff that looks good on paper and that might impress your C-suite or your middle management. Run me through, like, what are some examples? Like, you might not want to mention some brands, but what are some examples of that?
Yeah, for example, like and some ads that I've seen, like some ad copy, which like looks okay, nothing like terrible with it, but it still looks generic. Without like leveraging the actual trust signals the company had. Some businesses, they think they only can use, let's say, how many reviews they got on Google by business, but that's not the only trust signal they could share. So I've been working lately with some tradies that they've been in the business for 15, 20 years, and they're not using that on that copy or on the landing page.
Yeah.
And a few of them, it's been like a family-run business where the dad started the business and then the son is doing it. So it's like a 30, 40 years like of history in the business, but they're not saying that anywhere. They all like assume that the only thing they can put in there is like the Google reviews.
Yeah.
So I think there's a missed opportunity on, like, you can always share something that that can give you a credential or a trust signal that doesn't have to be the actual reviews from Google.
Yeah, exactly. So leveraging, you would say often like leveraging the brand, leveraging the story.
Yeah.
Making really highlighting that unique selling proposition.
Exactly. And also try to put a number to it.
Yeah.
Like, if you had like only 3 or 4 years experience, maybe that's not that impressive. But if you finish like 200 jobs, maybe that's impressive. If you can use that instead of like the years of experience, the number of jobs. You can always like have a workaround to make it look impressive, but still real.
Yeah, exactly. And for me, like, for clients that I work with, I always say, if your offer is not really that good to be, in other words, too good to be true, then people aren't going to be interested because they can get that service anywhere, right? So what would you say, what are the signals, say for a startup business or a local business, small business, what are and let's say there's a lot of businesses that we work with that haven't started advertising. What are the signals for them that they should be advertising? What things are you looking for within the business that say, hey, you're at a point that you should be advertising?
Yeah. Usually when it depends on the brand, but a real example of a client I still have, they were like relying on referrals and also other big companies to give them like clients, like customer, like leads. So this big company was like overloaded with leads, so they needed some smaller companies to help them out. So they were relying on that. They were actually running a business, only referrals and that. But they were stuck. They were not growing.
Yeah.
And they still had like room to grow, and they had like investment in the business just to keep growing. So that's where I jump in. And now they I think relied on Google Ads around like 60% of the leads, 60 to 70 depending on the month, coming from Google Ads. And we're still figuring out what's the level of lead they need to get per day, because in their mind, when they came to me, they were like, oh, we need 20 leads per day. At some point we reached the 20 leads, but they couldn't handle it because they had only one salesperson. So now we are in the process of figuring out the process to actually, for them to do the next hire, so they can actually take the 20 leads they always wanted to have a day.
Yeah. So it's going back to, I get that. But so I mean, it's one of those things, like when you start to run ads and you get stuck, right? So like, I think for me, the signals I'm also looking for, and what you said, right? Like, if the business is solid on referrals, that's a good indication that they should be running ads. Yeah. So I think that makes sense. I think for me also, like, the biggest thing is, like, obviously, how's the referrals? The biggest thing for me is if the business, say if it's just like a one-man band, like if the business is 1.5x than what the founder can handle on his own or on her own. So if the founder's fully booked and half more, that's a really good time to potentially look to hire somebody, but then also to scale. Right. So that's like the sweet spot for me. Right. So like if you're overbooked, you shouldn't. So what I'm basically trying to say is you shouldn't run ads when it's the opposite way, when you don't have enough bookings, right? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I agree. Some some other business owner, they run ads because they don't have business running, and they kind of look desperate. So that put pressure on us. But in reality, it's like what you say. You need to have like a solid business based on referrals, and like even like Facebook pages or anything like that can run locally. You have the business running, and then when you decide to scale, without having the pressure of like, if this ad doesn't work, my business gonna, like, I don't know, disappear. And then you need to have something because you need to prove that actually you can do the job first, and then you need to have some testimonial, some like actual like proof that you can do it.
So the importance of knowing when to start running ads, and then also not over relying on the ads is just as important.
Like that's why, like, going back to the other question you had, like some issues I've seen like on small businesses and big companies, like there's no clear communication between paid ads and organic and SEO. I think we've been involved in the same conversation with a business owner where like they were not sure if like they should bid on their own term, the brand term. But at the same time, they didn't have the proper setup for them to actually own their own brand on organic. They haven't done it because they're new. They're doing it at this. So
it's a new business.
But like it's not a right or wrong answer, but you need to have the data to actually make the decision. Like I'm always like, I try to, if we protecting your brand costs nothing, you better protect it. Like I'm 100% like on board with that. But if your clicks started to get too expensive, maybe try to own the organic rank. But yeah, that's something I've seen in both areas. Small and big companies.
And I think the biggest question that I get asked when starting out is people are often asking me how much should we spend? You know, what is the amount that we need to spend to get started, and what does that look like? You know, so when I say what does that look like, what are the marketing channels that are going to give the best initial performance and long-term performance? So with that being said, right, so let's say you've got a business where the founder's busy, they've got too much work, they're looking to hire, they've got too much work but not enough to hire a second person to jump in the business. Let's say it's a local electrician, right? He's got enough work for himself, he wants to hire a new person. You know, what would be the marketing channels that you would prescribe, and how much would the spend be?
Like I for example, I'm focused only on paid search, Google Ads, so I can't advise on paid social or any other channels. But in Google Ads, I would say you calculate the average, and you need to have at least 10 clicks per day to actually collect data and make the decisions. So if you are an electrician or like a plumber and the click is $10-15 per day, per click, you need to have at least $100 to $150 per day to spend. And if you don't have that, maybe it's not the right time. You need to be able to say when you need to wait, or the prospect need to wait until they have the budget, and it has to be at least for 90 days. The first 30 days, like you need to be like willing not to lose money, not to like waste it. It's not wasting, it's investing in collecting data and the account to start running. And then second, like 30 to 60 days, you make some tweaks in the messaging, and the maybe you test like manual CPC versus max clicks, or some specialists who have different opinions on that, but like you need to be able to invest at least 90 days. Like you need to do that. Otherwise, like maybe it's not the right time for the business to do Google.
I got you. And I guess like you know, what, like, just for people to understand that formula, what does that formula look like? Like how do you calculate that? Like run us through the calculations of clicks times cost equals and then conversion rate.
You look first, like use the free tools like Google Keyword Planner, put the landing page of the business owner. Well, first of all, you need to make sure the landing page is actually a high quality landing page, or you can build one for the client. But basically, you go to Keyword Planner, put the potential keywords the client want to show up for. Then you pick the ones with you don't pick the most like competitive ones, because some of them in some market can be like $20-50 per click. Other ones can be $6-10, I don't know. But you pick like a keyword with enough demand, but also with a fair cost per click. And you pick those ones as a bid on those, and then you need to be able to collect at least 10 clicks per day. I always prefer 10 to 15.
Yes.
To be sure and collect data faster.
Yes.
But that's the minimum. Like if you start collecting lead, you have less than that. If you, let's say, $10 per day, and you are a plumber, you're better off not running ads at all.
Yeah. Yeah. But run me through the equation. So, like, say 10 clicks per day times, say $10, that's $100, right? And then, like, off that, like, what can people expect? Like, what's the typical conversion rate there?
Yeah, the typical conversion rate it becomes improved with time. So, what a client I had, we started like an account, and luckily, like that never happened to me before, but we had a conversion the day after because it was a manual CPC. And then we didn't have a conversion the next 7 days, 10 days. Then we had 2, and like that. Then start like learning the account. The account, like when you switch from manual CPC or max click to a smart bidding,
Yes.
you're able to pretty much like bid smarter.
Yeah.
And then regardless of how much the click is how much are you willing to pay for this specific user who is actually in market for your service.
Yeah.
And then the conversation is not around the CPC, it's around the audience, and if you're reaching the right audience.
Yeah.
And but yeah, it depends on the industry, but every business is different. So some of them need like 5 leads per week, another one needs like 10, 100. But eventually, if the demand is there and the budget is there and the settings are there, yeah, they can meet the needs.
Yeah. And I think a big thing that we're also talking about is also like, once so you're at a point where you should be running ads based on your business. You've calculated how much it's going to cost to run ads. There's one thing that most business owners where they get stuck is it's their mindset. So you basically worked everything out for yourself. You need to be running ads. You've calculated how much it's going to cost, the risks involved. But the last thing that I think is really, really important is your mindset. Knowing that for some businesses we speak to, they say $100 a day. Whoa, that's going to be too much money. Like I can't afford to. They often say lose that, or waste that. So, what is your when you hear those words like waste, lose that? Like how would you suggest for a business owner to look this and go through that mindset? Like
I try to flip the conversation on them telling me like what's the ideal. What's the revenue they are at the moment, and what's the ideal they're going to have, like being in a realistic, of course, like a revenue goal. And then we work backwards, like how many leads they need, how much it would cost each lead approximately, and then they will realize they actually the ads and the service, it will pay by itself after a certain amount of time. So it's an investment with a good return. So instead of like you pay this and you don't get any return in 2 years, like of course it doesn't make sense. But when you flip the script a little bit and then you show them how you can help them get to the goal, so they see the goal, they don't see the investment anymore. So they can see themselves like with that goal, making that goal a reality.
But why do you think, like, even though when you explain that, like what I still struggle to understand is, why do you think it is that when you explain that to some business owners that they still don't see it in that way? They see it in a completely different way.
But I understand the position as well, because like it's an investment still, like regardless of how you wrap it, it's still an investment. And some people need to pay the mortgage, pay the school and stuff like that. So it's like it's risky for some businesses. And it's okay if they're not ready for that. Like not everybody can be your client, and also that takes off the pressure on you, because this type of clients, they will be reaching out every day asking why the click is $2 instead of like $1, or why we don't have clicks today, or why we don't have a lead today, or anything like might not be relevant to the account. But it's more in the mindset of the money rather than the outcome. So I guess like for my personal view on that, it's like I'm okay not taking on those clients because they might not be ready. And also I'm not willing to spend a lot of time trying to go back and forth with like this sort of like questions that we need to set up, even though I went through it before as well. Like it's not like I never done it, I did it, and it happened to me, even though I set up expectation, we all agree on this expectation, but then the questions came anyway. I messaged on like Sunday night, or why the CPC is up.
Like I think to answer that as well, I think it's more, you've got to be in a position where you've got a stable business and a financial backing that whatever happens in this scenario, that it's not going to set you back, right? Because for me, I only take on, and we have like, a process where we go through multiple calls with the client, sometimes 3, 4, 5. But even if the client's only spending $1,000 a month, I still go through 3, 4, 5, 6 calls sometimes, just to make sure that this person is of the mindset that this is a growth strategy. This isn't a cost. This isn't a waste. This isn't any of those words. And I think it's very important to understand that. And so I just really think that businesses need to be at a certain position, financially, mentally, and be able to separate business and personal, right? Because a lot of especially tradies, right? I know this for a fact with, I'm not isolating tradies, but I know a lot of tradies that they think that's the business's money is their money.
Yeah.
That's the business's money, right? Like, so what, you're going on a holiday next month? Like, that's got nothing to do with the business. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, you've got to be in a mindset where the business is a baby. The baby needs to eat, right? The baby needs fuel, right? So you've got to look at it. You've got to feed it, right? You've got to feed it. And sometimes it will take more than you expect it to, but that's just business, and it'll provide, right? It'll provide for you later on.
Yeah, I agree on that. But like when I try to put in on their clients' shoes, because I've been through the same, like maybe like not long ago, like 3 months ago, when I had to decide, or I have to like actually go full like 100% on my own, because like still a risk, and we've been talking a while, and I wanted to do it like a while ago, didn't work out because I wasn't ready, but it was the same mindset, like it was like kind of cash flow mindset or like the risk mindset, but then it was the right time, the right opportunity, so I jump in. So I try to remember that when I talk to this type of like clients. It's like I was there like not long ago. Regardless, it's a different market, different industry, but the mindset was quite similar. But yeah, like maybe not every client is your client. That's fine.
Yeah, and I think the same thing for me. Like, I think it was maybe 10 months ago, or 11 months ago, maybe actually a year ago now, I was in that position. I was in one of the biggest agencies in Australia. I was in a top position, one under the, potentially 1 or 2 under C-suite. And and the cash was good, but, I think it's, you get to a point and you realize there's more than, just money, right? It's like building a business provides more opportunities, more freedom, more creativity, so it's also like that, right? Like if you're working with someone who is just money focused and they don't see a long-term vision, then it's not going to work, right? No matter what you do. And I always talk to people, I said, you can be in any business. You could be just doing cleaning, right? You could be making rockets to Mars, right? But whatever it is that you do, if you do it well and there's a demand for it, then but you've got to stick to it long term.
Yeah, I think we had this conversation before, like in one of our catch-ups, when we both feel the same way. Well, the more you help others, the more you do in life in general, not only business or not work related. Right. But that's why I try to approach the business as well. Like some business might not be ready to scale on Google Ads, but I'm still going to help them as much as I can with like, even though it's not Google Ads, other channels or other referrals, stuff like that, until they're ready. Because it's like how I feel. I will feel weird if I don't do that. It's kind of like comes naturally. And so that's kind of like the way I've been approaching it. I know something can be like, oh, but you're wasting your time. Your time is money. But it's like, as you mentioned, like I prefer to sleep better at night than like
and that's exactly right, because there's often like people that I work with that I also help people for free. I've wasted, I had one potential client last year that he was just not ready, right? He's not in a financial position for him to pay me. He has a lot of debts and he owes a lot of, a lot of money to people. Anyway, without going into that, I've helped him, right? I've given him advice or just pointed him in the right direction, or maybe tweaked one thing for him or tweaked that, over a year, knowing that he's not he's probably never going to be a potential client. But the thing is, the more you give out to the universe, the more it will give back to you.
Yeah.
You know, the more you help others. So, yeah, sometimes it will be paid, sometimes it won't be paid, right? But the whole thing is, like with business owners, it's also a willingness to give more, and then you will also receive. I don't know. It's like, I don't know about that.
This is one of the things like actually motivate me more to work on my own with my own clients, because I always like what I did. I always like Google Ads. But in my last experience, I like what I was doing. I like the technical part of it, but I didn't enjoy who I was doing it for. And then I started to take on small clients on the side on my spare time, and I realized I was enjoying it like a lot. I was actually excited to get back home after the office just to actually work on these clients.
Yeah.
I was having a good time, and then the outcome was like the business owner like having more leads or growing the business, and it was like, oh, this actually I like this. I want to do more.
Satisfying. Yeah.
I feel actually my job is doing something for someone.
Yeah.
Previously it was like bringing more money to someone I don't even know, and like so yeah, I kind of enjoy it, and then push me to go further on that and just try to build my business. And other thing I enjoy apart from that is like using the tools I wanted to use. It sounds like kind of like a geek or nerd, but like when you build your own business, you build it with the tools you want to use.
Yeah.
Rather, like if you want to use any communication tool or any like task management tool that you like, you can use it. It's your business.
You got to choose the systems, the processes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think I definitely agree with that. I think, what would you say to like a local business owner who's on the fence now, right? They're watching this video, they're thinking, could even be a medium-sized business owner that, the business is doing well and that they might not be running ads, but they need to be running ads. Like what would you say to them to get started?
To get started, first, this maybe not, it's not 100%, it is related to Google Ads, but not 100%. Set up properly your Google My Business profile, because if you do that well, you get reviews, you might get like leads organically from people around you, and that's is a signal of demand as well. So if you are appearing on Google Maps for people that need your service, and you're getting leads from that, like there's demand there. And then also cash flow for you to actually reinvest in ads. So that's the first thing. Second thing, reach out to someone like actually been doing that before, not a random person like I don't know, claiming things that they haven't done. So do your research. It takes time. Something is annoying because you have to go through different platforms, check like the website, the LinkedIn profile, social media, and stuff like that. But do that. Like go through the process.
Yeah, pay for mentors as well. If you need to, like when I first started as well, I was paying a lot of people for advice. Just pay your way to advice as well. If you don't know anyone, just pay someone.
Yeah. And some business owners are right doing their ads on their own because like they want to learn, and I talked with a few that have actually been doing it for over a year or two, and they're doing well.
Yeah.
So they want to like just only advice. All advice, and then you give them a roadmap, and that's fine.
Yeah,
that's okay. So pay for the expert to help you out. Rather, if you want to hand over like completely the management, or you want like one-on-one advice every one, I don't know, once a month or once every 2 weeks. So it depends on what you want to achieve and your budget, but always like do your own research and find the right people for you. Regardless of like technically you have to be good, but also you have to be a good fit like for you and your business, like to actually enjoy working with that person, you know, not like being 1 hour before the call and say, oh no, I need to talk to this guy.
I think it's more like the last thing I would say is be in a mindset that you don't need this to work, right? Because for me, always like the opposite thing happens. The more I need something to work, it never works out. Right? It never works out. Oh, I really need that thing to work. I really, really need it. I really want it. I never get it. Right? Honestly, I've met people, they say, oh, I really want to buy a house. I really want this business to work. I really, really want to have this thing, right? Whatever it is, right? And that thing, because they want it so bad, the universe never gives it to them. It's like the universe is pulling it away. So yes, obviously you want it to work, right? But be in a position where it doesn't need to work. And don't have that reliance. And a lot of this is like a mental thing as well. You know, being mentally ready to have this business grow, to run ads, to be prepared for running ads. I would say personally, like 50% of it is technical, 25% of it is having the right offer, And the last 25% is actually just being like in the right mental capacity to just deal with what is actually going on.
Yeah. Because like, yeah, I think the technical part is like, I think it's like anybody can learn it.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, I enjoy what I do and I'm always like learning more because I enjoy it. Some people don't like it and it's fine. You prefer, you're better at running your own business. But if you are not in the right mindset you mentioned, like, for example, if it doesn't happen, I try to think like, if I don't close a deal today or tomorrow, I'm still gonna sleep okay.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna wake up like relaxed. And that's the mindset I want to have, like pretty much every day running my business.
Yeah, I mean, we just had a client. He had literally from when we started the campaign, things were popping, things were pumping.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't even run a sale. So we started off just a normal campaign. We're making sales. He ran a sale and it was doing even better than that. He said, I can't believe it. And he had one bad week and then it was like the world was over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was getting voicemails from him, messages. And I said, you know, we have a good relationship. We're still working with this person. But it's also like, you know, you don't want to put that much pressure on yourself. You don't want to put that much pressure on the ads. Right? The business needs to be consistent, right? It needs to be working.
And mostly like, yes, also mostly when you're an e-com, you need, you know, there are seasonalities and your product is not the right product for every season.
Yeah. Also service-based businesses, right? Like air cons, right? Like people need air cons in summer. Do they need
exactly
for winter? Maybe. I've heard it's more quiet, right? So knowing the seasonal trends of your business.
Yeah. Some traders actually they switch service based on the season.
Yeah.
They switch like coming to summer, they switch to your econ stuff, and then they have like two businesses separately.
Yeah. So knowing what's hot, what's not, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, keep the balance. But you need to know that it's gonna be ups and down, and for us as well, like not every month we're gonna close all the clients we want to close.
That's right.
That's all right too.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it, man. Like like I think really, you know, just summarizing that this whole conversation today, it's if you're thinking about running ads, if you're thinking about running Google ads, I mean, what sort of resources would you say? Where can they find you as well?
Oh yeah, well, LinkedIn mostly. I'm more active in LinkedIn. Camilo Morales.
Yes.
That's my name.
Morales. Give us some Spanish. Give us something in Spanish. Just to prove you are, right?
Okay, yeah, to prove like I can speak Spanish. Hola, mi nombre es Camilo. Soy un Google Ads especialista. Trabajo en Australia y he vivido en Australia hace casi 9 años. Y I'm so happy here, man.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, man. All right, man. Thank you so much.